It's basically
Well,
left
look,
Ukraine entirely to its own defenses. Yes.
Arnab, I'd like to point out that the demand of Vladimir Putin was a single point, that Ukraine should basically publicly swear that it is not interested in joining NATO and it is not going to, be part of the EU and the EU defense and other mechanisms. Now, the reality is Ukraine and Russia are in an extremely close relationship to each other from the security point of view. And, if Ukraine were to be a member of NATO, that would expose Russia to a kind of risk which Vladimir Putin, at least, was not willing to take. My point, Arnab, is very simple. I think the question that we as Indians should be asking, and I would like to say I'm glad Prime Minister Modi is taking a very balanced stand on this issue. He spoke to Vladimir Putin. He wanted dialogue and he wanted, of course, safety, especially for the Indian community. The point we should be stating is that, look, this is Cold War 1.0 once again. And we are in the middle of Cold War 2.0 between the US and China. This is the wrong war at the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, I would also say with extreme sadness, as someone who supports a very strong military alliance between India and the US, who strongly supports the Quad evolving into a military alliance, that I'm disappointed with Biden, with Johnson, with the other European leaders. They had this very long war on terror. They have never sanctioned anybody in the Pakistan army. They have never sanctioned anybody who was responsible for acts of terror, training terrorists during all this time, and they were talking about fighting terror. Now, they are not sanctioning the People's Republic of China. China has been entering other countries' territories. It's been threatening people. You ask the Taiwanese, they've been sending air patrols, they've been sending naval patrols. They have all kinds of subversive operations inside Taiwan. Has there been any sanction against Taiwan by Mr. Biden? I don't think so. Has he had any sanctions imposed on China for what it has done to the world's biggest democracy, India? I don't think so. So I'd only like to say that I am a bit disappointed that Joe Biden, he said in Afghanistan, although I think he was wrong in kneecapping the Afghan military, but right in sending US troops home, that he was doing this to focus on China. Is he focusing on China at all? And the point is that this will only put China on steroids.
That is the point. You see, you have addressed the elephant in the room. And nobody is willing to look at that. Because truth be told, Elizabeth, I'd like to come to you. I saw you shake your hand there vigorously, Andrew, saying Madhav is talking rubbish. But the fact is, Andrew, he's not. As I said, and you get very touchy about this as a Chinese, you don't have a fighting army. Russia is today your arm. You are not sure whether you can really militarily even, annex Taiwan. You've been promising to annex Taiwan against all global law. And today, Andrew, the fact is you are refusing to call the massacre of civilians in Kiev as an invasion because you intend to do the same thing in Taiwan. So you see Putin as opening the door for you. He's opening the door in your future attempt to legitimize a possible annexation of Taiwan. Am I right, Madhav? That's what the Chinese are standing behind and applauding the Russians for.
Yeah.
And this is not a Cold War. This is not a Cold War. Yes, Madhav was saying something there. Can I have him back on screen? It's not a Cold War.
Yeah. No, I quite agree with you. And this is the whole central point. The point is that what have you done to sanction China for its egregious actions? And so far as Russia is concerned, well, the point is again very simple. We're talking about Putin. Yes, he has gone into Ukraine. He made it very clear that's what he was going to do. And he has gone into it. So far as China is concerned, the point is they have also made it very clear that they were going to occupy Taiwan one way or the other. The Taiwanese people don't want that. Where are the sanctions?
And I exhort.
Leader in China
I
say
exhort.
that.
I've been saying this. I've been saying this every possible day for all our global friends out there. Do not remain. I keep saying, do not remain mute spectators, hoping, Elizabeth, that Putin won't annex the Baltic countries, that he'll stop, that he won't attack Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, because the real story will unfold when China does this to Taiwan. Elizabeth, it's the Chinese behind every move now.
Well, I wouldn't blame China for everything that goes wrong in the world, but clearly China is not playing a very helpful role now with regards to Russia, and it should have condemned Russia. Instead, it refused to condemn it even in the most mild way imaginable, and indeed not only has it refused to condemn it, but is also continuing to trade with it. China could make a huge difference in isolating Russia, and we should remember that war doesn't just involve two countries; it involves the whole global economy. It unleashes consequences that we, the rest of the world, will live with, even though they will be much milder than the consequences on Ukraine. But there will be global consequences. It's in everybody's interest that this war be stopped as soon as possible, and China could play an important role there. If I may add, India and Pakistan could also lobby Putin to come to his senses, but China in particular, because of its economic might, and it hasn't done so. On the contrary, it's helping Russia survive the sanctions imposed by the West.
Absolutely. China is financing this battle and watching on. And Frank Wisner, Ambassador Frank Wisner, America, if it wants to stop the war, wants to stop the massacre of innocent men, women, and children,